O.J. Simpson was up for parole, and today was the day that he had his parole hearing. And so the news today is that he not only had his hearing, but the board has voted unanimously to grant him parole. And as a result, he could be released as early as the beginning of October of this year. Now, I want to show you video of his parole hearing and some of his justifications for what happened or what he did and how he reacted. But understand that he is not in prison right now because of the Nicole Kidman case.
Simpson. Right?
I'm sorry,
Nicole Brown Simpson.
Nicole Brown Simpson.
Or
case.
the Nicole Kidman case. That is also a separate case.
Right. No. Nicole Kidman is not involved in this in any way, shape, or form. I apologize. I don't know why I have her on my mind.
Even though justice should have its eyes wide shut.
Right.
Anyway, so the reason why he's in prison is because he was convicted of armed robbery, and that happened in Las Vegas 8 years ago. All right, that's the context. Let's take a look at video from his parole hearing.
Mr. Simpson, before I cast my vote, I want to let you know that we believe that we're a fair board. We believe that we're a consistent board. I will let you know that consistency also goes to parole, and we do not look kindly upon parole violations. And if I cast my vote to grant and it concludes the hearing, our expectation would be that you not violate even the simplest condition of parole. Having said that, I am prepared to cast a vote. I am prepared to ask the commissioners to set conditions. If that happens, we will produce an order sometime in the next 15 to 20 minutes that will be faxed to you or presented to you at the institution, and it will become a public record. So based on all of that, Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole when eligible, and that will conclude this hearing.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right, so during the hearing, he also talked about the robbery itself, and he said that the two memorabilia dealers that he decided to target didn't, they had stolen that merchandise or that material from him. It was rightfully his, and as a result, it was the reason why he decided to pull out a gun and threaten them and essentially rob them at gunpoint. But it's interesting because he had good behavior apparently behind bars, and so they had already cut down his sentence. But then, since he was up for parole, he decided to move forward with this hearing, and they have unanimously decided to let him go.
The hearing went on for a while, and my favorite line from the hearing, there are two of them, but here's my favorite. O.J. Simpson said, "I believe in the jury system." Yeah, no effing you believe in the jury system. And the other was, he said, "No one has ever accused me of pulling a weapon of any kind on anyone."
No one has ever accused him.
Except for those two people you hacked up that night with those knives? I mean, the truth is that, look, the one striking thing, I watched it, and you almost feel guilty for watching it because you feel like you're part of the circus, and I guess I was. I mean, I was drawn in a voyeuristic way. But he had a certain arrogance to him through the entire process, and talking about, for example, the effect of alcohol on his actions that night, and just in general, and his handling of had he taken any courses while he was in because they recommend certain courses,
right.
And he hadn't taken the alcohol course, and he sort of said, "I don't really have a problem with alcohol." So look, there's a lot going on here, but at the end of it all, it's just, he probably served longer than he should have for that crime, and he didn't serve at all for the crime he should have served for.
Yeah, and so you can't ask this, you can't ask this board to make a decision about a crime that they're not discussing. They're specifically talking about this robbery.
And they explicitly mentioned that aspect of it during the hearing. They said we got a lot of letters from people on both sides saying that we both do take into consideration his previous accusations, both the criminal case where he was acquitted and the civil case with the Goldmans where he was forced to pay damages. But they said we could not take that in consideration, and that's where I find myself is. And a majority of Americans, literally according to USA Today, feel that he should be held responsible because a majority of Americans believe that he is guilty of the murders of Nicole Brown and Rob Goldman. And they think that he should go to jail more in Nevada because of that case. But that's just, you can't do that. What I found striking is of the 4 panelists that were making these decisions, one was wearing a football tie.
Really?
I didn't see that.
He is wearing a Kansas City Chiefs tie. Now, OJ played for the SC Trojans in college, and then he played for the Niners and the Bills. So he didn't play for the Chiefs, as far as I know. But just the idea, like, why would you decide to wear a football tie?
That's a really bad idea.
I just picture him looking through like Argyle, stripes, polka dots. But today's OJ day, I have the football tie. That is happening, and it's either a message like I'm with you football-wise, or like I'm not with your team. It's just so weird to me. And there are moments during it where he, during the hearing, says, "I have not made an excuse the whole time."
But
but all the questions, the answers that you want to hear, that I think seem obvious to me as to what you would say, even if you don't mean it, is, I should never have done that. And he did say along the way, I wish it didn't happen. I take full responsibility. But then when the rubber really hits the road, is he supposed to demonstrate that he has the healthy approach to this that the criminal system seeks to, the prison system seeks to make you rehabilitate toward? Is he just kind of says, I wish Riccio never called me. He's not saying, I wish I didn't go along. He's not saying, I wish I didn't do this. It's, I wish that person didn't make me do it. And it doesn't, it's that extra thing where, like, if you ask someone, do they feel remorse? They should say, listen, it was my fault. And he does say stuff like that, but then he gets emotionally charged.
He contradicts himself a lot, and that was what I noticed. And I watched it as well, but I didn't necessarily feel guilty about it. I just thought it was interesting to see, whether or not his personality has changed from, doing some hard time. And to be quite honest with you, it didn't seem like it. There was some joking going around. He talked about how if he were able to, get released early, he'd go live in Florida because he doesn't think that they want him in Nevada.
Right, he made that joke.
He made that joke, and everyone was like, haha, like they start laughing, and I'm like, this is kind of serious, guys.
And
like I get it.
I don't know how much hard time he's doing either, because if you talk to people in the joint, I mean, that's what we call it.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah,
the joint.
They will tell you that he is a rock star there. They take pictures with him, and the guards want autographs, and all of that stuff goes down. So I feel as though, look, it's not a party to be, to have to coach the prison basketball team every day, but as prisons go, that's a better thing to have to do than,
I will say though, I saw it in his eyes when they're waiting. She took her time, as you saw, to say, if I do cast my vote, talk, and you saw him just, the 9 years are really on his shoulders. And I don't, and of course he would want to not be in prison for 9 years. This is the system, sure. When I heard that he was out, I was like, okay, all right, he's out of prison.
Yeah.
He went in and tried to steal back stuff. And when they talk about the actual articles that were stolen, he said that a California court had found that was his property.
Yeah.
So he thinks, but the weird thing is how he processes it in his mind to this day. And I could see over 9 years, you would get more and more frustrated, not less and less frustrated, with the idea that nags in the back of his mind, like, yes, the people I was with did have guns to take this back, but we were stealing back my stuff.
Yeah, look, I get it,
So
but you can't.
Fine.
You can't brandish a weapon. You can't threaten someone with a weapon. Like there are, and I know he says he didn't, but there were guns involved. Whether he was carrying it or not, like there were guns involved, and so you can't do that, and that's the reason why they ended up finding him guilty. But I like that you brought that up because that plays into the contradictions. This, I take personal responsibility / but it was my stuff, so you know what I mean?
And I didn't have a gun. Those other guys had a gun. I didn't call for them to have it. They told me to bring security that day. I didn't even want security. I don't have security at anything. It was the first time I ever had security. So yeah, it was the non-apology apology.
If you like this clip of the Young Turks, you know there's a whole live 2-hour show, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern every day, and you can download it or stream it and watch it without ads if you become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.